Hi there, class. It's Mrs. Albright again, and today we are going to use what we have learned about decomposing fractions as a sum of unit fractions, as well as a multiplication sentence of a whole number times unit fraction, to help us understand why some fractions can be equal to another one. For example, we're going to start today with the fraction 1/5, and we are going to use tape diagrams to show how that is equal to 2/10. All right, so some basic review. We know that a fraction represents the number of equal parts in a whole. So we're going to start off with this fraction, 1/5, and I'm going to draw a tape diagram to represent my one whole, and I'm going to break this up into 1, 2, 3, 5 equal parts, and I am going to shade in one of those to represent my fraction 1/5. Now, let's see what happens if I take each of those fifths and I divide them in half. I'm going to take this fifth and cut it in half, this fifth and cut it in half, this fifth and cut it in half. I'm going to cut this fifth in half, and I'm going to cut this fifth in half. So let's take a look at this tape diagram and see how many equal parts we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 equal parts. So if we look at the part that we shaded, how many of those tenths are shaded? 2/10 are shaded. So looking at the yellow part of the tape diagram, this is where we have our 1/5, which is the same amount of this whole as 2/10 is. So imagine this is a candy bar, you're breaking it up to share it with your friends. You can either break it into 5 equal parts, and this is how big one of those 5 parts would be, or you can break it up into 10 equal parts, and it would take 2 of those 10 equal parts to equal the same amount as that fifth. And for this problem, we are going to take the fraction 1/3, and we are going to decompose that to show that it is equal to 4/12. So I'm going to start with drawing a big rectangle area model. And I'm going to break this up into thirds. And because I'm looking for 1/3, I'm going to shade in 1/3. And the next step, to show this as an area model to show that 1/3 is equal to 4/12, I want to think in my mind, if I have 3 on this side of my area model, how many equal parts would I need to have on this side in order to get 12 boxes in this entire area model? And since I know my multiplication facts, I know that 3 times 4 would give me 12. So I'm going to break this up horizontally into 4 equal parts. So now I have 3 parts going across the top. I have 4 equal parts going down the side, and I know to solve for area, 4 times 3 would be 12. So now within this area model, I have 12 equal parts, which matches the number that I'm looking for in my equivalent fraction. If I look at the part shaded, the blue part represented the 1/3 of this whole area model. And so how many of my new shapes do I have that fit in that 1/3? 1, 2, 3, 4. So when the area model was broken up into thirds, it was represented by just this portion. Now that I've taken that same area model and have broken it up into 12 equal parts, it takes 4 of those 12 equal parts to equal the same amount that 1/3 did. For this last example, we're going to draw an area model and use it to help us figure out that that 1/2 is equal to how many tenths. I'm going to start out drawing a big rectangular area model, and I'm going to cut it in half. And I'm going to shade 1/2 of this area model. So over on this side, I have my area model, and it's broken up into 2 equal parts. Now, to figure out how many pieces that I need to divide this up vertically, I know that I need to have 10 equal parts altogether. I already have 2, so I need to multiply 2 by what number on this side in order to get 10 altogether. So 2 times what number equals 10? I know that that is 5. So I'm going to take my area model and I'm going to divide it this way by 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now I have 2 along the width, I have 5 along the length, which gives me a total area of 10 equal parts. So if we look at the part that I had shaded originally, this part here, which represented my 1/2, I can write an addition sentence to see how many pieces that is. So it's 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10. I can rewrite this as a multiplication sentence because this is repeated addition. So I can ask myself, how many equal parts do I have? The answer is 5. And what is the value of each equal part? It's equal to 1/10. So the total number of tenths that is equal to 1/2 is 5. So 1/2 is equal to 5 tenths.